King Ryan Garcia posted on social media last night that he was going to fight Rollie on 420. Shout out to all the potheads. I personally don't smoke anymore, but take a puff for me. But I did find it a little odd that they would finalize a fight that quick, since only about 5 days ago, Rollie actually dissed Oscar de la Hoya, Ryan Garcia, Golden Boy, and The Zone pretty bad. But then I said maybe Rollie dissed him so bad that Oscar de la Hoya wanted Ryan Garcia to make Rollie pay any of those words, and probably said, let's give Rollie a good deal so he can make the fight, but I want you to punish him and knock him out and teach him a good lesson for everything that he said about us. So because I thought about that, I really thought the fight was going to happen. But shortly after Ryan Garcia posted the fight with him and Rollie for 420, they announced the fight with Rollie versus Pitbull Cruz on March 30th. And they also announced Keith Thurman versus Tszyu. So when Ryan found out about this, he took down his post, and that is what we are going to be talking about today. But before we get into that, if you guys are not subscribed, please punch and knock out that subscription button. That way you'll never see it again, and ding that notification bell. That way you'll never miss any of my new boxing videos. Alright guys, let's get to the round. Ding ding. Okay champs, let's get started. As we all know, a while ago, Ryan Garcia put out a poll to let the fans decide who he should fight next between Rollie Romero and Devin Haney. And the fans chose Devin Haney, so Ryan Garcia tried to make a fight with Devin Haney. And the whole boxing world actually believed that the fight was going to happen until Ryan Garcia started hanging out with Floyd Mayweather. So Ryan Garcia started getting advice from Floyd Mayweather, and one day they took a famous run together, and after that Ryan Garcia pulled out of the Devin Haney fight. He said that he wasn't interested in the Devin Haney fight anymore, but they will eventually fight. So after that, he wanted to make a fight with Rollie, and the whole boxing world was actually okay with that, because before the fans actually chose Devin Haney for his next opponent, he had actually stated himself that he was not ready for Devin Haney after the Duarte fight. So everyone was cool with that, and after that they started negotiating with Rollie. But shortly after that, Oscar de la Hoya came out and stated that there will be no more Rollie fight. He stated that Rollie had priced himself out, and shortly after that we found out that Oscar de la Hoya was actually negotiating with Rollie and Pitbull Cruz at the same time. Then Oscar de la Hoya came out and stated that there will be no more Pitbull Cruz fight as well, because Pitbull actually outpriced himself too. And that is when Rollie Romero actually got mad at Ryan Garcia and Oscar de la Hoya. And that's when Oscar de la Hoya stated that the fight with Ryan Garcia and Jose Ramirez was almost finalized. I thought that was very quick to finalize a deal. Was Oscar de la Hoya negotiating with Pitbull Cruz, Rollie, and Jose Ramirez at the same time? Because I do believe that is way too quick to finalize a fight. But Rollie did not like the idea that Oscar was negotiating with him and Pitbull Cruz at the same time, so it left a bad taste on Rollie's mouth. He actually dissed Oscar de la Hoya and Ryan Garcia pretty bad. He said F Ryan, F Oscar de la Fishness, F The Zone, and F Golden Boy, the worst streaming service that there is. And Oscar came out and said, why did you offend me like that? I offered you a lot of money to fight Ryan Garcia and you rejected it. Now you're gonna fight Pitbull Cruz for pennies. That's when I said Rollie went too far and he could say goodbye to the big payday for good, because this fight is worthy of being on pay-per-view and it could sell a lot of pay-per-views. And Ryan Garcia only 4 days later posted that he was going to fight Rollie on 420, and the deal was finalized and done. But I believe that was way too fast to finalize a deal like that. But in my head I was like, maybe they were just trying to build up the fight. And I was like, what a way to build up the fight. Now everybody will want to watch this fight it will probably sell 1 million pay-per-views because now there is bad blood and everybody would watch it. And I thought maybe that was all part of the plan and Oscar and Rollie never stopped negotiating. But I also thought that Oscar de la Hoya really got his feelings hurt and he wanted Ryan Garcia to make Rollie pay. But shortly after Ryan Garcia posted his fight with Rollie on 420, they brought out the fight with Rollie versus Pitbull Cruz for March 30th. And Ryan Garcia deleted his post versus Rollie on 420 shortly after that. But let me add this, I think it's a great idea if boxers do start fighting on 420 and make it a big event, because it's not a big holiday and it does not have its own event. So the fight can be the event for 420. The fighters can make it a tradition and all the potheads will buy the pay-per-view. It can be a smoking theme fight, like Errol Spence smoking on Bud. I am going to smoke your favorite fighter. That's just on top of my head, but I'm sure they'll think of something good. You can tell Ryan was embarrassed though. He stated that he will never announce any more of his fights until they're finalized and done. Because this does make Ryan Garcia look extremely bad. It makes him look like a liar. And people are already calling him Lion Ryan. Not lying like lions only Charlo, lying like you're telling a lie. I hope it's not true because he says that he is real religious and lying is a sin. Low-key, if this is true, I would lose a lot of respect for you, Ryan. Because it's one thing to lie and not be religious, and another thing to lie and be religious. And it's also another thing to praise God but then do the opposite of what he wants us to do. Because one thing that I really do hate is hypocrites, especially when it comes to God. But that's neither here or there. In the same card, they announced Tszyu versus Keith Thurman, and that will be the main event for March 30th. And the undercard will be Pitbull Cruz versus Rollie Romero. And I also heard that it will be Mario Barrios versus Boots Ennis. What a way to start the year with a bang. But the Keith Thurman versus Tszyu fight will not be for the belt. It will actually be at a catch weight at 155. Keith Thurman is probably the one that cannot make the weight because he's only fought 3 times in the last 6 years. Keith Thurman has been very inactive. A lot of people are saying that Tszyu is gonna end Keith Thurman's career, but I am not one of them. I believe Keith Thurman in his prime could have beaten Tszyu right now. And boxers are like CarMax. The best new cars make the best used cars. The best young fighters make the best old fighters. So I will never count out a fighter like Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman only lost to Manny Pacquiao. But what do you guys think about Ryan Garcia's post? Do you guys think he is lying? And who do you guys think will win? Tszyu or Keith Thurman? And if Mario Barrios and Boots fight, who do you guys think will win that fight? Comment below and I'll write to everyone back. If you guys like the show, like the video, subscribe, share the video, and that's it for me, champs. I gotta roll.